The directive principles of state policy are given in Part 4 of the Indian Constitution. Article 36 to Article 51 of the Constitution deals with the directive principles. The directive principles have been taken from the Irish Constitution and they are considered as instrument of instructions. The significance of directive principles. The DPSP denote the ideals that states should follow. The DPSP are instrument of instructions. They constitute social, economic and political program and seek to establish economic and social democracy. They are non-justiciable as well as non-enforceable in nature. They help courts to examine and determine the constitutional validity of law. The directive principles are classified into three categories: socialistic principles, Gandhian principles, and liberal intellectual principles. Socialistic principles include Article 38, that is welfare of state and minimize inequalities. Article 39, that is secure livelihood, equitable distribution of resources, non-concentration of wealth, equal pay and health. Article 39A, that is free legal aid. Article 41, that covers work, education and public assistance. Article 42, that is just and human conditions. Article 43, secure a living wage. Article 43A, participation of workers in the management. Article 47, nutrition and standard of living. Gandhian principles include Article 40, that is panchayat. Article 43, that is cottage industries. Article 43B, that is cooperative societies. Article 46, that is empowerment of SCs, STs and other weaker sections. Article 47, that is prohibition of intoxicating drinks and drugs. Article 48, prohibition of slaughter of cows, calves and other milch. Liberal intellectual principles include Article 44, that is Uniform Civil Code. Article 45, childcare and education up to 6 years. Article 48, agriculture and animal husbandry. Article 48A, environment, forests and wildlife. Article 49, protection of monuments. Article 50, separation of judiciary and executive. And Article 51, international peace and security. Now let's discuss important amendments related to directive principles. 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. This amendment added 4 new directive principles to original list. Article 38, healthy development of children. Article 39A, free legal aid to poor. Article 43A, participation of workers in the management. Article 48A, protect and improve environment, forests and wildlife. 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978. This amendment added one more directive principle, Article 38, that is minimize inequalities. 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002. This amendment changed the subject matter of Article 45 and made it a fundamental right under Article 21A. 97th Constitutional Amendment Act 2011. This amendment added new directive principle, that is Article 43B, cooperative societies. Now let's discuss the difference between fundamental rights and directive principles. The fundamental rights are negative in nature, while the directive principles are positive in nature. The fundamental rights are justiciable in nature, while the directive principles are non-justiciable in nature. The fundamental rights establish political democracy. On the other hand, directive principles establish social and economic democracy. Fundamental rights emphasize welfare of individual. On the other side, directive principles emphasize welfare of community. When it comes to implementation of fundamental rights, they do not require any legislation for implementation. When it comes to directive principles, they require legislation for implementation. Now let's discuss directive principles outside Part 4 of the Constitution. Article 350A, instructions in mother tongue, that comes under Part 17 of the Constitution. Article 335, claims of SCs and STs to services, that is given in Part 16 of the Constitution. Article 351, Development of Hindi, that is given in Part 17 of the Constitution.